Hello everybody, it is your friendly neighborhood guru here, and I've started a journey on revamping my YouTube page from a video game page to a mini painting page. And I figured I'd start with a series of painting the Dark Souls minis from Dark Souls, the role-playing game. The first one I'm taking a crack at is the Deprived class, so without further ado, let's get right into it. So the first paint I'm going to be using is for his skin, and I couldn't think of anything better to use than Crusader Skin from the Army Painter. It's a flesh tone speed paint, and I think it gives very nice colors and very good midtones for this particular miniature because, well, he's the Deprived. He doesn't have any armor on or anything. He's just equipped with nothing but his bare back, a club, and a wooden shield. So yeah, let's just get right into painting it. Now, when you're painting this guy, I always like to make the suggestion of trying to avoid anything critical that doesn't necessarily go the same color. And in this particular case, it would be his club, his shield, and his hair, and the rope that's on his back, and especially the loincloth. But if you do happen to go over it by mistake, you can clean it up pretty easily while it's still wet. Just take your time, try your best, and there you have all of his skin is painted. Now, I'm usually not the kind of guy to do a bunch of highlights or anything like that. I like it to just be tabletop ready. It's my personal preference, but if you're that type of painter, by all means, do what you want. So up next we are going to be painting his shield, and I'm going to be using Wyldwood from Citadel. I already have it into my little paint palette, and it's diluted with just a little bit of water so it's not too dark. But go over the shield and try not to hit those two little metal barbs that are on the shield itself. Just, again, take your time. It's never a race. I promise it'll get painted in time. Just slow and steady paints the miniature, I guess. So I'd like to take the time and say that if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out on this journey in revamping my YouTube page. Feel free to ask questions in the comments or just leave a comment of anything you'd like to see me paint in the future, and I will try to either answer them or get to those miniatures somehow and show you how to paint them. But anyway, the shield is just about done. I like the way it came out, but let's get on to the next thing to paint. So using the same Wyldwood, I'm also going to be painting his club. It's a little smaller area, but, you know, they're both made out of wood, so why wouldn't they be the same color? Maybe this guy found just a big tree bark and decided to just make weapons and a shield out of everything. So, oh god, nope. Yep, see, this is what I mean. You don't want to get colors on anything else. Although it did kind of make his leg look dirty, so maybe I shouldn't have wiped it off. Anyway, yeah, be sure to get the club as well. That's what it looks like. On to the next color. Okay, so here is where things are going to get a little bit tricky. I decided to go to a 1-to-1 ratio of the Wyldwood from Citadel and the Crusader Skin from Army Painter, and I decided to use that to paint his rope. Normally, I would use Skeleton Horde from Citadel because that looks pretty fine enough when it comes to rope. It's just light enough, but I don't know, I think this works just as well, if not maybe even a little bit better. So, I don't know, what do you guys think if you could see that? Now, using the same two paints, I've added another dollop of Wyldwood into the mixture, and it turned it into a 2-to-1 ratio of Wyldwood and Crusader Skin, and I am using this for his hair. I've looked at pictures online of the basic form or basic model from the video game, and his hair is like not too dark but not too light either. So if it kind of pulls in like I'm trying to clean up right here, you can grab a dry brush and then just soak it all up. It'll soak it up just fine. So that's what his club looks like, his shield looks like, and his hair. Now let me let it dry and we'll move on to the next color. Alright, so now for his loincloth. I like this color very much. I'm going to be using Gor Grunta Fur from Citadel. It's a very orangish brown kind of color, and nothing screams like caveman loincloth more than this color. I used it on my orcs a long time ago, and I've had it ever since, and I just really love the vibrancy of this orange brown. Like, it works wonders, especially for this guy. So now I want to go ahead and paint the handle, but I want the handle to be a little bit of red. So I'm using blood red from Army Painter, and I'm going to mix it with the Gor Grunta Fur that I have, but I'm not going to be using a lot. I swear I am just going to like barely touch the brush with it, as you can see. And then I just go ahead and I mix it right in, and then I'm going to be getting the handle. This is kind of where you really need to be careful not to get any on his skin or the club or anything like that. Again, if you happen to touch it, just try to clean it off quickly while it's still wet. It usually comes off. But on to the next part. So now I'm going to be painting the two little metal plates that are on his shield. And with that, I'm going to be using Broadsword Silver from the Army Painter. It's a metallic speed paint. I really enjoy Army Painter's metallic speed paints. I think they work wonders, and it saves a lot of time. But just make sure you give them a very good shake, because they tend to show more the undercoat more than anything. Normally I would paint this over black, but white is fine. It doesn't hurt nothing too much. So, okay, so now I had to zoom into my camera because I'm going to be doing his eyes. I am not the greatest at doing eyes, but I will do the best I can. So you want to get a really thin brush, and you want to just barely touch his pupils. You don't want to overload the brush either, because they will go all over and his eyes are going to look floppy as hell. But this is how I've learned to do eyes. Just be very, very, very careful and only touch the pupils and whatnot. So, trust me, this is very much easier said than done. Be patient, take your time and practice. I would even practice on other miniatures before you do one that you really enjoy. And now with the white dry, you want to take some black or some dark brown, and you want to just barely touch the pupils. This is where I usually suck at doing eyes, because sometimes I don't know when to necessarily stop adding the pupils, and sometimes they come out big, but I think this came out pretty good. It's not too shabby, but let me know what you think in the end. I'm going to be ending the video on a stiller image of him. So now I'm going to be doing the base. So with that, I'm going to need some basing glue. I usually grab the one from Army Painter. There's nothing wrong with using it. But I'm also going to be using the Army Painter rocks and the Army Painter grass. So just go ahead, pour some out, get some glue onto the base. I promise that their products will stick to it. It's very good products to use, and they're not sponsoring me or anything. It's just what I personally use, and it's what I recommend for beginners to go with. It's Army Painter, Citadel, and when you become a little bit more into painting miniatures, then you could like cross over into maybe Vallejo or Pro Acrylics, stuff like that. So, yeah. Let me take them off the base. And the first one I'm going to be doing is the rocks. So just get them right in there. Oh god, the little sticky tack holding them down is still underneath it. All right, so but anyway, it's just get it in there. If you miss a few spots, you can go ahead and grab some more glue, and then just get into the open spots that you missed. So, and then just dunk them right back on in, and usually that fills in the cracks if there are any, really. So after painting the rim brown and touching up the base, he is now complete. If you stayed until the end, thank you for watching, and next week I will be doing the Pyromancer class. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one.